Hi, my dear students. This is Hari Krishna sir. So today we are going to see electron transport system. So the short form of electron transport system is ETS. Okay. So in the last classes we have gone through different steps or stages of aerobic respiration. Number one is glycolysis. Number two is link reaction or pyruvic acid oxidative decarboxylation. Then finally Krebs cycle. So this is the fourth step of aerobic respiration. Okay, so this is the fourth stage or fourth step of aerobic respiration. So this is also called as cyclic level phosphorylation. Cyclic level phosphorylation. Okay, so where there are two kinds of phosphorylation. Remember, there are two kinds of phosphorylation. One is substrate level phosphorylation. Then the second one is cyclic level phosphorylation. Okay. So what is substrate level and what is cyclic level? Just see. Whenever the ATP formation, so whenever the ATP is formed directly, so directly from the substrate, if the ATP is formed directly from the substrate, that kind of phosphorylation can be called as substrate level phosphorylation. Okay. For example, if you see the glycolytic pathway, that is glucose, then okay, there are series of reactions. So here you can see G3P, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, is converted into 1,3 bis phosphoglyceric acid. Okay, 1,3 bis PGA. Then it is converted into 3PG. So in the middle of this particular action, ADP combines with phosphate and there is a formation of ATP. Okay, and there is one more, that is PEP. So PEP is converted into pyruvic acid. So in the conversion of this particular compound to another compound, there is a formation of another ATP. Okay, so here in this case, ATP is directly formed from the substrate. So ATP, if the ATP is directly formed from the substrate, that kind of phosphorylation, that kind of ATP formation can be called as substrate level phosphorylation. Okay. So then come to second one, cyclic level phosphorylation. Cyclic level phosphorylation means this is indirect formation of ATP. Okay. So indirect formation of ATP is called as cyclic level phosphorylation. So in this case, NADH2 or FADH2s are formed. These NADH2 and FADH2 will undergo into ETS, that is electron transport system, then finally yield ATP. Okay, so means ATP is not formed directly. So this is indirect formation of ATP. So what is the process behind that formation of ATP in this case? So cyclic level phosphorylation, NADH2, FADH2s are formed in the reactant. For example, so whenever G3P is converted into 1,3 bis phosphoglyceric acid, there is a formation of NADH2. Okay, NADH2. In Krebs cycle, we have seen in Krebs cycle 6 NADH2s and 2 FADH2s are formed in the Krebs cycle. Okay, so all the NADH2s and all the FADH2s undergo into electron transport system. Finally, it will yield ATP molecules. Okay, so this is indirect formation of ATP. So indirect formation of ATP is called as cyclic level phosphorylation, whereas direct formation of ATP is called as substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, then come here. It is an example for cyclic level phosphorylation. Clear? So it takes place in mitochondrial cristae. Okay, so it takes place in the cristae of mitochondria. Remember, so cristae means it is inner layer of mitochondria. For example, this is outer one, this is inner one. So inner layer shows some foldings. These are the foldings. These foldings are called as what? cristae. Okay, so inner foldings of mitochondria, inner membrane foldings of mitochondria are called as cristae. Okay, so cristae is headquarter, or cristae is reaction place of electron transport system. Clear? Then what about substrates for this reaction? Substrates are FADH2 and NADH2. Okay, so all the FADH2s and all the NADH2s, for example, FADH2s are formed in the Krebs cycle. Okay, Krebs cycle. Then NADH2s are formed in glycolysis, okay, in link reaction, as well as Krebs cycle. Okay, so already we have gone through all the steps. Okay, so for example, FADH2s in Krebs cycle number 2. So 2 FADH2s are formed in the Krebs cycle. Then in glycolysis there are 2 NADH2s. In Krebs link reaction there are 2 NADH2s are formed. In Krebs cycle there are 6 NADH2s that are formed in the Krebs cycle. Okay, now so if if acetyl CoA involves in one cycle, there will be formation of 3 NADH2. Another acetyl CoA yield another 3 NADH2 molecules. Clear? So 2 FADH2s, 2 NADH2s in glycolysis, 2 NADH2 in link reaction, 6 NADH2 in Krebs cycle. Okay, so all these compounds are the substrates for electron transport system. Clear? Then come to products, or you can say end products. So end products will be ATP and water. Okay, so end products of ETS, that is electron transport system, will be ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, then water. So water formation will be there at the end of electron transport system, and ATPs are the final outputs of electron transport system, means aerobic respiration. Clear? So this is about basic information related to electron transport system. Now, so where it occurs? It occurs on the cristae of mitochondria. Clear? So this is what the cristae. Okay, this is the cristae. Just I want to draw a clear-cut diagram. Just have a look. The diagram depicts the entire picture or image of inner layer of mitochondria, particularly the cristae. Okay, so how it looks like? There are different types of complexes. These complexes are involved in electron movements, right? For example, this is mitochondria. Okay, this is the inner layer, and these foldings are, this is what? Cristae. Okay, so if you cut cristae, right? So this is what? This is outer layer, this is inner layer. This space is what? Perimitochondrial space. So perimitochondrial space. So this will be matrix of mitochondria. Matrix of mitochondria. Okay. So if you cut this particular piece, right? So it looks like this is a layer, this is another layer. Clear? See, there are different complexes. So one of the complex is, so this is perimitochondrial space. This is matrix of mitochondria. Okay, this is complex 1. Complex 1. This is complex 2. This is complex 3. So this is complex 4. So this is complex 5. Okay, so 5 complexes are involved in this mechanism: complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4 and complex 5. Okay, then there are two mobile carriers. One is ubiquinone, that is UQ stands for ubiquinone. Then cytochrome C, this is what? Site C indicates cytochrome C, that is mobile carrier. Okay, so then this this particular complex 1 has the prosthetic group FMN. So FMN, so this has another prosthetic group, that is FAD. So this is this complex is called as site B and C, site B and C complex. This is cytochrome A1 and A3 complex. So this is F0 F1 complex. Okay, so this is about names of these particular complexes. Clear? So now we want to see the entire picture of this particular complexes. See, there are 5 complexes which are involved in electron transport system. Then come to number 1, first complex 1. So complex 1 is called as, remember we have to discuss all the 5 complexes first. Then we will move to how the electrons move from complex 1, 2, 3 to like that, So first we have to see the structure of every complex. That is first complex 1. So complex 1 stands for NAD oxidoreductase. So NAD oxidoreductase is the name of complex 1, or it can also be called as NAD dehydrogenase. So NAD dehydrogenase or NAD oxidoreductase is the name of complex 1. In complex 1 you can find the prosthetic group, that is FMN. FMN stands for flavin mononucleotide. So flavin mononucleotide is the prosthetic group of this particular complex 1. Prosthetic group, apoenzyme prosthetic group. Prosthetic group nothing but non-protein component. So this is a non-protein component of complex 1, that is FMN. So flavin mononucleotide is the non-protein compound, that is prosthetic group of complex 1. Remember. So there are in this particular complex there are iron sulfur proteins. So FES proteins. So they are 22 to 24 in number. So 22 to 24 iron sulfur proteins are found in the complex 1. Okay, so this is about NAD oxidoreductase or NAD dehydrogenase. At this particular complex NAD plus means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotides. So NAD plus will become into NADH2. Okay, so generally NADH2, there is a conversion of NAD to NADH2, but in this case I will clearly draw the picture of this particular change. So in this moment NADH2, all the NADH2s particularly of link reaction and Krebs cycle. The NADH2s which are formed in the link reaction and Krebs cycle are involved in complex 1. Okay, complex 1. These NADH2s are the NADH2s will become into NAD plus. Okay, so what is NADH2? NAD plus or NADH2? Remember, so NAD is a best electron carrier. It is one of the electron carrier. It carries electron, right, and it receives protons. It transports or it carries electrons and it receives protons in the electron transport system. And one more thing you have to remember, that NAD plus indicates it is oxidized form of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So whenever NAD is converted into NADH2. For example, NAD plus means oxidized state of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So it is converted into NADH2. So NADH2 stands for what? Two protons are added, nothing but it became reduced condition. Okay, so this is a reduced state of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. This is the oxidized state of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So in this point, NADH2 means reduced form of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide is converted into oxidized state, that is NAD plus. Okay na? So this is the first complex. This is the information about complex 1. Then come to complex 2. So complex 2 is called as, this is called as NAD or FAD. So NAD or FAD, succinic oxidoreductase. Succinic oxidoreductase, or it can also be called as succinic dehydrogenase. Okay, so succinic dehydrogenase or succinic oxidoreductase. There is a choice of oxidation as well as reduction. Here also oxidation and reduction. So NAD dehydrogenase nothing but removal or loss of protons. Loss of protons takes place in the NADH2. So NADH2 is converted into NAD. Means what happens here? Two protons are lost. Two protons are removed from NADH2 and it will become into NAD plus. So hence it is NAD dehydrogenase, NAD oxidoreductase. In the same manner, succinic oxidoreductase, there is oxidation as well as reduction. Two processes will be taken place here. Then succinic dehydrogenase, nothing but what? Removal or loss of hydrogens will be taken place at this complex 2. Okay, so in this complex 2 there is prosthetic group, that is non-protein compound, that is FAD. In complex 1 you can find FMN as a prosthetic group, flavin mononucleotide. In this particular complex 2 you can find the prosthetic group, that is FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide. So this is a prosthetic group in which 7 to 8, remember 7 to 8 iron sulfur proteins are found. 7 to 8 iron sulfur proteins are there in the complex 2. Okay, in this particular complex 2, remember FADH2 of Krebs cycle and NADH2 of glycolysis. Remember FADH2 of Krebs cycle and NADH2 of glycolysis. These two compounds start their electron movement from complex 2. For example, if FADH2 involves in complex 2, FADH2 is converted into FAD plus. Means what? For example, NAD plus NADH2, what happens? FAD nothing but oxidative stage. FADH2 means reduced form of flavin adenine dinucleotide. Then NADH2 is converted into NAD plus. Means reduced form is converted into oxidized form. Okay, so this is the information regarding complex 2. Then come to complex 3. This is a complex 3. This complex 3 is called as cytochrome. What is this? Cytochrome BC complex. Okay, so cytochrome BC complex, or you can say cytochrome reductase. So cytochrome B3 complex, or you can say cytochrome reductase complex 3. So in this particular segment there is only one iron sulfur protein is found. Only single iron protein is found in this particular complex. Clear? Then number 4, come to number 4, that is complex 4. So complex 4 is called as cytochrome oxidase. So cytochrome oxidase, oxidase nothing but there is a choice of oxidation. Okay, so cytochrome oxidase is the name of complex 4, or it can also be called as cytochrome A1 and A3 complex. Okay, cytochrome A1 and A3 complex. there is a prosthetic group. There is a prosthetic group in this particular A1, A3 complex. That prosthetic group is what? Copper. So copper ion or copper metallic compound, copper metallic element is the prosthetic group in complex 4. Okay. Then complex 5. So we'll discuss in detail, that is, leave it complex 5. So come to, there are, two mobile carriers. One is what? UQ, and the second one is site C. Okay. So two mobile carriers. So two mobile carriers and 5 complexes. Okay, we have seen all the 4 complexes: complex 1, complex 2, complex 3 and complex 4. We will discuss in detail about complex 5. So it takes much time. So I will take another class on that particular segment. Okay, so remember, 2 mobile carriers are there. What are they? One is ubiquinone. The mobile carrier is ubiquinone, is one of the mobile carrier, and the second one is cytochrome C. So cytochrome C is another mobile carrier. Remember, so this is what? Ubiquinone. This is cytochrome C. Ubiquinone is inner mobile carrier, right? It is an internal mobile carrier. So it is found in between 2 layers. This is a layer, layer towards perimitochondrial space. This is a layer towards mitochondrial matrix. Okay, so matrix and perimitochondrial space. Okay, so this ubiquinone is located internally. Clear? Then whereas cytochrome C is located on the outer layer, that is towards perimitochondrial space. This is membrane bound protein. Cytochrome C is membrane bound protein. This is located towards the perimitochondrial space of mitochondria. Okay, so this cytochrome C as well as ubiquinone, UQ, are 2 mobile carriers of electron transport system. Means they involve in electron movements. So they receive electrons and they carry the electrons from one place to another place. Okay, now, so these 2 are the mobile carriers of electron transport system. So this is entire picture of the membrane that is cristae. Cristae, this is a perimitochondrial space, this is matrix. How the complexes are arranged or situated or located in different fashion: complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4 and complex 5. Just see, I want to tell you one more time. This is complex 1. Complex 1 is called as NAD oxidoreductase. Means there is oxidation and reduction. It is also called as NAD dehydrogenase. So dehydrogenase is nothing but removal of protons. Okay. So there is prosthetic group in this particular structure, that is FMN, flavin mononucleotide. In that there are iron sulfur proteins. The number is 22 to 24. Clear? So then come to here. NADH2 of link reaction and Krebs cycle involved at complex 1. And this dehydrogenase is there now. So 2 protons are removed from NADH2 and NADH2 is becoming into NAD plus. Means reduced form is converted into oxidized form. Okay. So this is one. Come to complex 2. Complex 2 is called as NAD or FAD succinic oxidoreductase. Same process. Succinic dehydrogenase is another name, and it has prosthetic group called FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide. Clear? There are 7 to 8 number of iron sulfur proteins are found in complex 2. So at this particular juncture, 2 compounds, that is FADH2 and NADH2. FADH2 of Krebs cycle, NADH2 of glycolysis. This glycolysis. FADH2, NADH2. 2 compounds are undergo into changes at complex 2. FAD is converted into FAD plus, means reduced form is converted into oxidized form. Then NADH2 is converted into NAD, means reduced form is converted into oxidized form. Then come to number 3. So this is cytochrome BC complex, or it can also called as cytochrome C reductase. or cytochrome reductase. There is only one single iron protein, iron sulfur protein is found in this complex. Then complex 4. Complex 4 is called as cytochrome A1 A3 complex or cytochrome oxidase, means oxidation takes place at this particular complex 4. Okay, then this is what complex 5. I will tell you in detail in next class. Okay, complex 5. Then there are, apart from all the complexes, we have two mobile carriers. One is situated internally and one more situated externally, that is membrane bound mobile carrier. So internal mobile carrier is ubiquinone. The membrane bound external or outside, it situated towards perimitochondrial space, that is cytochrome C. Okay, so this is all about electron transport system complexes. Okay, so in next class we will see how the oxysome, or you can say F0 F1 complex looks like. Okay, how it looks like. So will be the next session, and after completion of the shape and structure of everything related to F0 F1 complex, we will move towards how the electrons move from one complex to another complex. Okay, so this is the next topic of respiratory mechanism. Thank you.